Welcome to the Contact Center Cactus Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Mulvin, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm your co-host, Jay Kayan from Dumaguete City, Philippines.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. Started my first business 10 years ago, and 6 LLCs later, I started PacBiz Contact Center Outsourcing in 2015. Today, we have over 200 employees and growing.
And I'm the operations manager here in PacBiz, and I've been working with Eric since 2014, and I grew as the company grew.
So whether you're looking to outsource for the first time, whether you manage a contact center, or you're just looking to improve your customer experience, we'll be covering topics for you.
So business managers, operations managers, business owners, this is for you, so make sure to subscribe.
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about taxi companies, and the next 2 episodes, we're going to be talking about taxi companies and outsourcing your taxi calls and customer calls. Even if you don't own a taxi company, it doesn't matter. I think you'll get something out of these next couple episodes. And but really want to talk about, for those of you who have never outsourced before, if you're a taxi business, what is the difference between outsourcing your customer calls and driver calls? Because there is a difference. And so this episode, we're going to be talking about your customer calls. Next episode, we'll be talking about outsourcing driver calls. And the big difference there is they're different kind of customers, and we handle them way differently. And if you guys run a taxi company, you'll know. And Jake's the one that manages operations in the Philippines, so you have to deal with it a lot. In fact, you know, it takes a different skill set, right? Tell me about that a little bit.
For the taxi company, to outsource for customer support and driver support, there's a difference. The customer is, of course, the driver is also a customer to the company, and we take care of them. And the same way as we treat this the callers or the customers that will want to be picked up, that's how we also take care of the drivers.
Yeah, and you talked about different companies. Like if you're a restaurant, you don't have your own delivery people, you outsource that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of examples we can go across, but the big thing that all of these companies have in common, the ones that work with PacBiz and other businesses that outsource, the biggest thing they have in common is that customer support is not the core part of their business, where for us it is. For PacBiz, we're all about that. That's our product, is customer support, the customer experience. If you're a restaurant, it's the food. It's not how is that delivery driver, making their turns when they're getting to your home, or how are they within the speed limit? Or are they, driving responsibly in the neighborhoods? No, that's not the responsibility of the restaurant. They want to make sure that they have good food. And if they are focused on the delivery driver, they're not going to be able to put as much attention to the food. And that's what we're saying with these taxi companies and with any business. If the call center is not a core part of your business, all right, then outsource that to companies where that's our focus. That's what we do. Just like if you go to the restaurant, you expect good food. You go to us, you expect good support. And so for the taxi companies, they're not. You guys aren't in the business of providing call centers. In the past, that was the case, but now that's not. And so today we're talking about the customer support side of things. And so, Jake, tell me, why would a taxi company outsource their support?
Based on experience, what I see and what the taxi company owners are happy about is, I think first and foremost is, the employment. They don't need to worry about the employees, so we take care of that side. And probably it's because we've been here for a while now, that all these things that they're doing over there is exactly what we're doing over here. And the difference is that the probably if they're having problems with with the people, their agents or their call takers, those problems are already taken care of here in our end. Like we all have these guidelines, the QA metrics and all other stuff. Like after all the times that we spent doing this thing, we're not perfect, but probably close to it, and we make sure that we deliver a good customer experience. So that's the thing that you can get when you outsource the call taking, and eventually, as this agents, from the beginning, we don't have dispatchers or controllers there, right? And
in the beginning, you're right.
And they began to have these skills, like they know this place, they're very familiar with the map, they're very familiar with the drivers, and even though they're just being call takers, they already have this knowledge about where these drivers are going home, where these drivers are usually located. And when we were offered before, if we can do the dispatching, and then we try, and there you go. It's not really difficult for us to adapt to doing to take driver calls.
Awesome. That is great to hear. You're right. And it's nice to see that evolution. I know at PacBiz, one of our core values is personal growth. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to use that as an example where we started with taxi customer calls. And then, what we'll be talking about in the next episode, driver calls, that came later on. And part of it was almost a necessity because the technology that's coming into play too. We have a lot of clients where 50, 60, 70% of their calls are handled by automation, by the IVR. Mm-hmm. And so we're only handling that 30% or 20%. And I think it goes back to why these customer calls are so important. You can't afford to have just some person that you hired like their first days taking their calls and they don't have any experience about your business when those are the 20% of the calls that are coming in. So the people are they've tried to use the computer system calling in or the AI, the bot, whatever, and it hasn't taken their calls. And now they're upset. And they've been trying to talk to somebody. You don't want to have someone that is not trained and not ready answering the phone because they're new on the phones because you keep having turnover. So, you talked about that a bit. They're having issues there with their call center agents where that's our product. That's our service that we do. So that's why we really focus on that part. So we could focus on the call side of things and they could focus on the operations. So Jake, I just wanted to wrap up with this last thought here about the attrition rate. And you were talking about staff that stick around a long time and for years. Now, unfortunately, we cannot put anybody that comes to us because we're growing. We can't put all people that have been working at PacBiz for years because our clients that have been with us for years are expecting those people to stick around. But the thing here with us, if you're hiring someone in the call center and you're in the UK, you're in the US, you're in Canada, the expectation is not that this person's going to be there for years. The expectation is like, we'll see how long they last. Where when you come to work at PacBiz or you come to work at a call center that values them, that cares about the employee, and we want these people to stick around, that's the difference. When people come in to apply, they're starting a career with us. They're expecting, okay, that could be where I might work for the next 5-10 years. Versus that's not the expectation they're coming in when they come into work locally. This is like, I'm doing this for now, waiting for the next thing to come around. So that's a big difference. So even if you're starting with a company and it's starting with new people, it makes a huge difference what that attrition rate is at the call center that you're outsourcing to. So challenge you guys, if you're thinking about outsourcing and you're looking at companies, ask them what their attrition rate is. How many people leave that company in the next year? And that could be the big difference between if you're going to get a great experience for your business or one that you're going to be wishing you made a different choice. So with that, I think that's all the time we have for this episode today. The next episode, we're going to be talking and focusing on the driver side of outsourcing and working with call centers. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
All right. Thanks, guys.